Yeah, the biggest biscuit. Hard head in this bitch. You already know what it is. Stamp.
Well, first off, my name Thudda Biscuit. I'm from Hartford, Connecticut. I symbolize myself as an artist. You know what I'm saying? Not really a rapper, nothing like that. I'm an artist. I could do multiple things.
I mean, like, what inspired you to start to get into like the art?
Really, you know, the visual. I like music videos. So I like growing up and seeing the music videos and how lit they was and what the artist was talking about and how it correlated to the music video. That really, like, you know, inspired me. But more so my cousin. My cousin, he was a good rapper. You know, he incarcerated right now, but his name Keyron, call him Fresh Bucks, Free Fresh. But he was like the first person that was close to me that I could see rapping off the dome, and that's what inspired me to start rapping.
Do you remember when you first did your first rap?
Yeah, when I was 18 is when I first jotted something down. I was in the studio with my brother, rest in peace, my brother Raekwon. That's the real rapper right there. My brother Raekwon. Yeah, when I was 18 is when I started it. You know, my first sit down and
Was it any good?
Yeah, it was alright. I ain't gonna say it was too tough because I was starting out, obviously. I'm not even gonna say I'm too tough right now. I'm still building, you know what I'm saying? So that's how that is.
Tell me about your childhood, like growing up. What led you to that point?
Well, my childhood, it was semi-rough. And I would say that because I ain't have like the traditional household, you know, how the mother and the father is in one household, and you know, I was raised up with them in the house and seeing that. I was more so with friends and family growing up, and school was also a part of, you know, like my family, so that was like my getaway from the outside world. But it was an alright upbringing.
Now, like, how do you feel? Like, what is it? What do you have to do to put you in that mode of like, I'm ready to write this line right here?
For me, it's a feeling. Like, literally, I gotta like feel it. Like, it's like, I call it like catching a vibe. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, when I hear a beat and I instantly can start rapping off of it, that's when I know, like, alright, it's time to sit down and try to memorize this and jot it down so I could, you know, put this together. But it's always a feeling for me. It's not like, you know, a full setup where I gotta have this and that. You know, it's just I go with the flow.
Tell me how you go through like beat selection.
I like a lot of bass, and I like up-tempo beats, like fast beats. Kind of like dancing party beats. I really like drill beats too. I love me a drill beat. You know what I'm saying? But I'm trying to transition out of that because that's kind of like, you can't really live off that. So right now I'm into old school beats, like some Nas type, some Mobb Deep type. You know what I'm saying? So
like boom bap.
yeah. Something that you could really sit down and rhyme to. Put some real rap together. You ain't just mumbling.
Who would you say of like the rappers you listen to or grew up on had the most like influence?
For me, it was 50 Cent. Yeah, and then it later went on to Gucci Mane. I like the southern, like the down south, like trap rap. But mainly it was 50. Like that motherfucking where he was driving in the Hummer. He was in the Hummer, and I think one of his first music videos.
So tell me, how old are you now?
Right now I'm 32.
32? All right,
Yeah.
you have a kid?
Yeah, I got 3 kids.
3 kids?
Yeah. Two sons and a daughter. My son is my oldest. He 11. My daughter, she 9, and then I just had one. He just turned 1. So.
Baby.
Yeah, it's a little mini me.
Alright, so like how does like fatherhood like play like a role in like how hard you go into your artistry?
It's a good question. It play a big part because they are my motivation to try to make something happen with the little bit of resources I have. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, sometimes I even bring them to the studio with me and let them sit down and watch me create. And that was a fun experience because seeing them like, jamming and I'm the one rapping and creating and they saying like, oh, that's how you do that, or that's how you make that sound. You know, they really like listening and paying attention. That put a smile on my face. So it'd be a blessing.
I want to first ask about your last project, the art of
Hartford.
Art of Hartford.
Yeah.
So you dropped that project right before.
Yeah. So with that, like you just said, I had dropped a project. I called it an album because that's what I felt like it was for me. I felt that it was an album because I put my all into that before I was turning myself in, because I ended up catching the case. I was fighting the case for 3 years during the COVID time too. So, you know, they pushed a lot of court dates back. So it ended up expanding to 3 years. But right before I was about to turn myself in, I worked endlessly, like tirelessly on the project, The Art of Hartford, an album, 10 tracks on there. It's a work of art for me. That's how I felt. You know what I'm saying? It ain't really do the numbers that I thought it would do, but I'm my own promotion. You know what I'm saying? I only really have me as my promotion team. So my Instagram gets pushed, my Twitter, my Facebook, everything gets pushed on by me. You know what I'm saying? By these fingers right here. So, you know what I'm saying?
So when you were creating the album, like, were you creating the album with that in mind, that you knew you had to turn yourself?
Yes. So yeah, that was what like was my drive. That's what pushed me to finish that, to put that together, 10 tracks, get the cover art. I ended up having to go with United Masters. I signed a little contract with them, United Masters, so they could distribute my music. And that's what helped me get on Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube, and all the other platforms. So that was big. But when I was locked, I didn't have the promotion, I didn't have the push. You know what I'm saying? Which I thought it would do a little buzz, because it's like, all right, he not here no more. Let's listen to this and see what he was talking about. You know what I'm saying? But it had the opposite effect. It kind of like, you know, dwindled, like, you know what I'm saying? So that was my second time. The time I turned myself in was my second time. The first time, you know, I did, I think 10 months. Yeah, that was a pistol charge, you know, carrying a weapon without a permit. In the state of Connecticut, if you don't know, they very harsh on that. They have like the 5-year cap law now, where it's like if you got a switch on your gun, or if you got a ghost gun, this, that, and the third. So they real strict. And I was out here, you know, playing around, you know, running the streets with a gun, and, you know, things happen, so.
So your experiences in like leading into going to being incarcerated the first time, even the second time, how do you think that like plays on like how you like make your music?
I try to incorporate some of my, you know, past, like my jail and incarceration, but I really don't, because I really don't like to glorify that. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, going to jail, it ain't cool. It ain't nothing to brag about. So I kind of like leave that in the dark. But if it come up, yeah, I present it. But, you know, I don't really let that have an effect on how I make my music and what I do with my music, because, you know, it's jail. It's like, you ain't doing nothing in there. Like, you know what I'm saying? I did get my GED when I was in there, though. But, you know, so that was that.
Outside of like music, right?
Mm-hmm.
You ask any artist, right? like their music, that's their job, right?
Yep.
Like the art is that's what I do.
Yep.
Like, have you ever worked a real job, like not a real job, but like outside of like the art?
Yeah, definitely. Shit, I work right now, and it's for a moving company. You know, I help move people. You know what I'm saying? Like, shit, if you need me to move you, I'll be able to move you. You know what I'm saying? But that's what I do for right now. But I've worked construction, did painting. Painting was one of my favorite jobs. I worked at Moe's. If you don't know what Moe's is, it's like Chipotle. I worked at Moe's in the fast food industry. Yeah, whatever pays, whatever gets the money. You know what I'm saying? I got kids, so.
What would you say are your plans for the future?
My plans for the future is to be an entrepreneur if I'm not already. But I just like selling stuff, so if I could sell some stuff legally, that's what I'll do. But it's getting into clothing, to be honest with you. I want to get into clothing. I love fashion. I like my fashion. Mine really came from Max B. I'm gonna be honest with you. Like, I love Max when he was doing his thing with the Louis V shades and the Louis V belt, the Louis V bag. You know what I'm saying? He really put me on to the LV, and that's what I've been rocking with.
So what kind of fashion do you think you would want to go into?
With the clothing, branch off, make belts, shoes. I want to be in that designer field type, like, but it don't have to be high priced or nothing like that. I want it to be a fair price. I want it to be nice quality too, which is it's hard to do that, but where there's a will, there's a way.
So with today and being an artist, even like wanting to go into fashion, what would you say are like the biggest barriers that like an artist would face in trying to come in?
I mean, with that, if I'm not as popular as, you know, a mainstream artist, but I'm speaking for the mainstream. Being a mainstream artist, you already got the following, so it's kind of easy for you, but not easy, because they still have to like your product. You have to have a good product. You know what I'm saying? And the fabrics, they gotta feel good. They gotta last. It's a multitude of things. So, like I was saying, focusing on that, the quality should skyrocket.
So, with the fashion, you said like you want to like incorporate that into with music. So, like,
yeah, that's what I'm working on right now. I'm trying to incorporate fashion with music. Trying to do a website. So you go on my website and you download and pay for my music, and you could buy merchandise at the same time. You know what I'm saying? Like, so that's what I'm trying to get towards right there. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, you got to create an LLC and all of that. You know, you got to do it up. So
going back to the music, you ever did like a performance? Like, you ever performed in front of like?
I did a couple performances, but it wasn't like nothing like big, nothing like, you know, like a real show where I was paid to perform, and, you know. But I did a couple performances, you know, just like on some cool shit. I'm just in the spot and the motherfucker just pass me the mic or something, or start playing my song, and I grab the mic and I just go in from there, like, you know. And that's been my experiences with that. But yeah, I never did a show. I want to do shows though. I definitely want to rock some shows, be on stage and people singing my rhymes, and, you know what I'm saying, like, that's lit.
Feel that. So, like, the next one I got here is, have you ever been paid for your music?
Yeah. Have I ever been paid for my music? Yes.
Yeah.
I've been paid for my music a few times. Through United Masters, they paid me. I've been paid for a feature before. Like I said, I haven't did no shows. I haven't been paid for no shows, so. But it was cool. It was a good experience, being able to cash some money out from my hard work.
How was the experience with someone like approaching you for a feature? Like how did that work out?
That's kind of like different. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's a good feeling. Like I feel like accomplished. Like, damn, you listening? Like, you want to work with me? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, and then you willing to give me some bucks for it? All right, that's lit. It turned me up instantly.
Being from CT, right? You hear all the time about how like the community within CT, you know what I'm saying? They don't really like, not necessarily they don't support,
Yeah.
right? You know what I'm saying? But it's like people will be hesitant to like support. What do you say about like CT support, you know what I'm saying, in that sense?
CT support is so-so. It's so-so. And I say that because it's a lot of favoritism, it's a lot of popularity, it's a lot of, like, you know, hood politics. That's what I call it, hood politics. You know what I'm saying? To where dudes is from this spot, they don't mess with this spot, and it's just so on and so forth, you know what I'm saying? And then some dudes feel like they more talented than the person that may be on. So they don't want to support them, not knowing that if you show support, it may bring light on to you. You know what I'm saying? So it's like crabs in a barrel type shit. Like.
So like, do you think it's because of like the size of the state? Because like we see states like that literally like are next to Connecticut, like you got New York, Mass, even. Like, what is it about like Connecticut? Because like we always say all the time, Connecticut's small as hell. Like everybody's Like so like I just can't get that. Like if everybody know everybody, I don't understand
why it ain't pushed. But that's the thing. People wanted to be them. They don't want it to be the next. So that's the fucked up part about it. I don't, you know, like.
Alright, so are you working on any music now? Any new?
Yeah, so I got a mixtape. It's coming sometime this year. I don't got no release date on it. You know how that go. Where you just working and you just waiting for that time to put your all out. So, cause that's what it is. Like you putting your all out. You letting the world hear you after you done worked on your piece. So I got a mixtape coming out. It's called Chef Boy Shit. Chef Boy Shit, and that's, you know, my family last name as far as from my father's side, not my mom, but my father's side, you know, we Chef Boys. So Chef Boy Shit is the mixtape.
So how does it work, right? Go to the studio, mix something up with Kennedy or whatever, you know what I mean?
Yeah, shout out to DJ Kennedy, man, that's my guy.
Yeah, and then you sitting on work, right? How does that, like, because you probably got like logs of like music that you ain't never put out before. Like, how does that, like, how you like pick and choose what goes out when?
Yeah, see, that's the thing, and it's about timing. Like certain sounds is in a certain time zone type. Like I don't know if that make any type of sense, but you know, you gotta sound a certain way around a certain time. So, you know, when the seasons change, you know, you match with the season. Like, you know what I'm saying? Shit like that. So it just depends on when I'm dropping or when I want to put a project out, and I focus in on, all right, I want it to sound like this, and I based it off of the name of the album, the cover, you know, shit like that. So it's like more so visual for me. I visualize everything. My creative process, it start with the concept. I get the name of the album first. I get the album cover done, and then I start working off of that. It's more so visual for me, but also I think about the sound at the same time, like how I want it to sound based off the look of the cover. So like, all right, this cover look like this, all right, look like it should be some raw music, you know.
So, based on the concept, a song might not be able to make this album.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Okay. So, how does that work in your head? Like say you got like some heat, you like, what?
Yeah, that's what I went through with my first ever project, The Art of Hartford. There was a track that I wanted to put on there with my brother, rest in peace, my brother Raekwon. I even told my father that I was gonna put it on there, but it ended up not making the cut. The song hard, but it just didn't fit what I was putting out for that album. And that's basically what we're talking about right now. It's like the concept of that album didn't fit that song, and that song didn't fit the album. So it's like I just left it off. I left it in the vault and let it, like, you know, just.
So thought process is a big part of how you create, really.
Yes, I gotta use my brain, and I try to use my brain as much as I could because we got a lot of technology nowadays, and that's what I learned from being incarcerated, is to use your brain. Take a second, look at the observation, and you know.
Yeah, so tell me, like, when should the people expect to see Thudda again?
Shit, they should expect to see Thudda real soon. The biggest biscuit is on the way, you heard? On the way. I'm cooking up right now. That's what I'm doing. I'm cooking up for a major comeback. It's been a while since I dropped like some real music or a real project, so you know, it's time for me to, you know, hop back out and let them see what they've been missing. But, you know, it is what it is. You can find me on Instagram, Thudda Biscuit 860, on Twitter, X, King Thudda, and then on Facebook, you got Thudda Biscuit 860, also on Facebook, Bada Bing, Bada Boom. You heard? The Art of Hartford, you can find that on SoundCloud. On SoundCloud, Thudda Biscuit 860. You can find me on SoundCloud.
Let it up.
Shoot. Niggas yelling, get low. Kick your front door. We leave niggas on they face. Pick your hammer up. Pussy nigga ain't no shit. Kai, that's my great. Here, leave you laying flat. Every time we come through, niggas